this is Nancy Thomas, in case you don't know who I am. I have three birth children. I have three that my husband and I adopted, and one we raised as a legal guardian. And then we've had close to 100 foster children over 40 years. So we have a little bit of practice working with really challenging children. And my children have been so very kind as to repeat the inappropriate behaviors over and over and over so that I could fine tune my parenting skills. So I want to share with you what I've learned from the children. I specialize in the defiant one. I specialize in the violent ones. They're my favorites. And so a lot of you probably didn't really sign up for that. You were thinking you would get like a little snuggle bug that you could have fun with. And then you got one of these and you're going, what just happened? I know. But it's okay. They can get better, and I'm going to give you some tools to make that happen. So I know your time is very valuable. I'm not going to mess around. I want to get right into understanding and, what we're going to do about it and all those things. And then at the end, I want to share with you some really exciting stuff I've got for my Advanced Parenting Academy that we're putting on sale. So if anybody wants more help after the webinar, we've got more help. So let's dive in. You ready to roll? Why is my thing? There we go. We're going to share with you 10 tools that work. There's our little screamer. All right. So just quick overview of what we're going to do. We're going to start with understanding defiance, the environment that we need to have so that we can win, the child can win, the top 10 tools to stop it, and then more options. Then we're going to do our Q&A at the end. So I'm here for you. I want you to be able to defeat defiance and be ready to roll. To make sure that happens, I'm going to give you a bunch of new tools. So let's roll. So understanding why they do it's very important. What is defiance? It's a roadblock. It's a brick wall, maybe, depending on your child. But pretty much a brick wall to any forward movement. And we've got to get through that brick wall so that the child can move forward to success and to their positive future. So when we're hitting a brick wall as a parent, trying to help our child get through it, a lot of times we get frustrated and we're like, why are you doing this? Why don't you just do what I say? Why can't you just brush your teeth? Excuse me, I got a frog. And they don't know the answers, but parents keep asking them. So I'll tell you why they put a brick wall up between you and them. It's attachment. Attachment is the root of the problem. So we've got to work on connecting while we're working on correcting, okay? So, and whether you have an adopted child and that's why there's attachment issues, or you have a birth child that had, birth trauma or medical needs, or mom was hospitalized, separated from them, or whatever happened, it doesn't matter. Let's just put some solutions to it and move forward. A lot of times we're always like, whose fault is it? Who did it? It doesn't matter. We know what the problem is. Let's fix it. So here's a picture of a trauma-affected brain. And in here, you see most of the activity is in the back. That is the defiant part of the brain. We call it fight, flight, or freeze, okay? The fight part is I'm not going to do it. You can't make me. I'm not going to do what you want. No. All of that defiance comes from there. And you see in this child that had too much stress as a little one, that back part is on fire. It is lit up. It's going to be the first responder to anything you tell this child to do. The front part there up at the top is a lot quieter, much less activity. The red's the most activity, yellow's a little bit less, green is the third layer down, then purple's the least amount of activity. So we see up there in the forehead area, a lot less activity. That's where logic and reasoning comes from. When we ask why, it needs to be a logical answer because we're thinking this isn't logic. It doesn't make sense. Why is this child doing it? Well, it doesn't make sense. Well, no, it doesn't make sense. Their brain got derailed and we've got some work to do to heal it. And you know what heals it? Attachment. Yeah. So here's a little guy. And I found him and I thought, boy, you know what? That is how I feel sometimes when I'm working with a child and I don't have the answers. I used to have that a lot in the beginning, just trying and failing over and over and over. You know what? It's not only us as parents, It's also those of you that are teachers. We've got teachers on board today. We've got therapists out here listening, and a lot of parents. All of us, when we don't have the tools we need to have, we feel like this little guy, just over and over and over, trying and failing. It's exhausting. It's frustrating, and parents get angry when they feel helpless. Teachers get angry when they feel helpless. Then we got anger in the mix, and that backfires. But it's not only the adults, it's the children. They're doing it wrong over and over and over and over and failing, and everybody's losing. So let's figure out how we're going to win here. The limbic system is the love department of the brain. Okay, it's where all the emotions are, not just love, but it's also where attachment occurs, and it's the normal filter. So when input comes into the brain, it comes into the limbic system, and then the brain decides, do we need to move this to logic and it's just fine, or do we need to alert, it's an emergency, put your brakes on, it's a fire, get out, run. So the limbic system sorts things out, and when our children have had early trauma, it doesn't sort it out very well, because you're just like, I just want you to brush your teeth. Why are you having this big deal about it? For them, it's life and death. For us, it's just brushing the teeth or something. All right. So, how do we rebuild the limbic system? How do we help it to heal when it's gotten off track? Child has to feel safe for the brain to rebuild. They have to feel accepted. Who they are is good enough. This is my child. This is exactly the way they are. Stubborn, defiant, all those things. We need to help them to embrace honesty. We need to help them to be able to cooperate with adults so that they can learn in school and grow up and have a job, those kinds of things. But who they are is extremely strong-willed. All right, up and down movement. When we're bouncing a baby, it calms them down because it's activating the limbic system. It literally is building the limbic system. Well, and we get them, they're 10 or 15 or whatever, and it's a little bit tricky to pick them up and bounce them up and down. So we use a therapeutic horseback riding program. We use jumping jacks. We use a mini trampoline. We use jump rope. Anything that's going to get them jumping up and down is going to help with that limbic system. All right. Rebuild. Oh, man. A lot of times we want to show them the right way to do things. They want to do it their way. Over and over, we get trapped in this vicious cycle of exhaustion. At the end of the day, we don't have any energy left. I know. I've been there. I've done it to where I can't even see straight. And we're just like trapped in this endless loop with them in their defiance. So let me share with you how we get past that. We're going to start with the environment we need to make sure they've got so they can succeed. We've got to calm the chaos. If you have a chaotic home and a chaotic life and you need some help with that, the thing that helped me, because I had that problem, thing that helped me the most was flylady.com. And that's FLY. It stands for Fully Loving Yourself. Flylady.com is a master at organizing households and helping people organize their meals and the school paper that needed to be signed that's lost, and all of the bills. Oh, where'd that bill go? It need to be paid. Whatever. She is absolutely incredible with that. There needs to be a sense of order. Our children can't have a room that's a cyclone and heal. They can't have meals that, oh no, I forgot to thaw something for dinner and we got to eat now and there's nothing, and oh no, they cannot feel safe in that kind of an environment. And yet they create it. I hear you. You're trying to get dinner going and they're, going around taking your time and attention away from you focusing on the meal. So they create chaos, but who controls your home? The child who's creating the chaos, or you who makes that sense of order happen? Feeling of safety we talked about earlier, they've got to feel safe. They feel safe with loving leadership where they're following a leader. There isn't somebody doing what do you want to eat? Where do you want to go? How can I please your Royal Highness? None of that. It's like, come with me. All right, it's time for lunch. Come and eat. Here it is. Lead them. They're lost. They're wandering around doing it wrong because they're lost and they need loving leadership. Information is needed. I don't share with them what we're going to do, when, why, when we're coming back. I don't share with them. They are on overload. So if I say, you know what, on Thursday, we're going to go fly kites, and we get up Thursday and there's no wind, I'm now a liar. Well, you said we were going to fly kites. Well, we can't fly kites now because or we're going to go to the movies. Well, there's a flat tire and, so and so's throwing a screamer, so we can't go now. So I don't tell them ahead of time. And with our defiant children, they use the information to prepare their battle a little bit more. Well, there's a plan. Don't go there. So I don't tell them anything ahead of time. I often said I could have been a perfect mother if I would have had chapstick with super glue in it because I talked too much, I explained too much, I reminded too much, I gave the answers too much instead of letting them use their brains. And as I got more experienced and better at it, I got better and better and better at letting them figure it out. I live with a 16-year-old boy named Sprout. That's his nickname, I call him. And this morning he got stuck. And he was putting a couple things in the dishwasher. Mom said, "Oh, you need to redo that." He redid it. Wrong. She said, "Oh, do it again." He redid it. Wrong. Try it again. 20 minutes trying to figure out what he needed to fix in the dishwasher. And instead of looking at it as, look at this Defiance, he's just being a sticker. I'm thinking, wow, 20 minutes of the logic part of his brain exercising and working, trying to figure out what the problem was and come up with a solution. He never could figure out what was wrong in the top rack of the dishwasher. So finally, he took all the dishes out and washed them by hand and put them away. I was like, brilliant. He's thinking out of the box. He needs to be able to do that for an adult. But his mother wasn't standing over him. Well, you know what I told you. It was only 5. Wasn't any of that going on. She just said, here's a problem, and backed up and let him find a solution. It was awesome. So protection. Our children need that feeling of safety because they're not sharing a room with another child who's hurting them or another child in the house that's hurting them. They don't feel like they're going to be shipped off to Oshkosh or wherever because you're sick of them. They've got to feel safe. Clear boundaries. They need to know where the line is. What is okay? What is not okay? And with our children, it needs to be very tight boundaries, very clear, tight boundaries in the beginning. And then we slowly unfold those. All right. So respect. This is a huge piece for our children. It's essential that they respect parents, teachers, therapists. All adults are spoken to with a title. In my house, my title is Mom. Okay. But teachers are Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith, Mr. Beard. We wouldn't be calling them by just their last name. Smith. Not respectful. So eye contact, when we're talking to somebody, we make eye contact to let them know that we are connecting. Walking, the leader walks in the front. The child doesn't walk in front. It is incredibly disrespectful. All right. When we speak to someone, we say, yes, Mom. Yes, Mr. Smith. May I please? Nice manners. Respect is the foundation for conscience development. And it's a huge piece for the connecting before we're correcting, or connecting in balance with correcting. All right. So respect for others, sharing appropriately with other children, playing the games that the other child wants to play sometimes, and playing the game they want to play other times. So there's lead and follow in the peer relationships. They certainly don't lead adults. They aren't doing I've decided this is what I want for lunch and I want to go here and you can drive me. No. Respecting property. They sit with their feet off of the furniture at home, school, church, wherever they are, being respectful. Respect for themselves equals self-respect. And we get them to, self-care. I know some of you going, I can't get my kid to wash her hair. I can't get my son to brush his teeth. The bed's not getting made. That's exactly why we're here. It's what we're talking about. Helping them to get through that in the beginning is going to make a huge difference for the rest of their life. And I know a lot of you have been doing it over and over and over for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. And you're sick of it and you're failing. Don't give up and don't give in. We need to hold the line. We need to hold the ground and retake that turf for them to be able to have self-respect in those areas. They will pick friends according to how they see themselves. If they see themselves as a loser, they're going to hang out with the losers. If they see themselves as a bad kid, they're going to pick bad kids to hang out with. If they see themselves as a winner who can do things, as a good person, those are the children they're going to choose to connect with. Now, a lot of times, if they have reactive attachment disorder, they can choose all they want. The other children are pretty quickly going to say, no, you're not my friend, you're my enemy, and start fighting with them. But once they learn how to get along and they do get to choose the children they're going to hang out with, we want them to pick good friends. Alcohol, drugs, huge problem for our older kids. And when they don't have self-respect, they'll drink the booze till they're barfing their heads off, laying in the gutter, doing the drugs till they can't even see straight because they don't have any self-respect. Having sex with all kind of people they don't even know or care about, no self-respect. So bringing respect into your home is a huge piece between the parents respecting the teachers respecting the parents, the therapists respect everybody being respectful of each other. And I like to take it up a notch from normal American parenting. I know we have some Canadians on here and some people from other countries, and different cultures have different levels of respect. I find in America, we have a very low level of respect, and we need to take it up about 27 notches. So another piece that's essential for our children to heal is that mom has support. Mom is the primary target of the child's rage. When they're adopted or they've been hurt early on, they blame it on mom. They blame it on this mom, not the birth mom. They take it out on this mom. So she may appear overly controlling and angry, and she's not. Our children need very tight boundaries in the beginning. The anger is because she's exhausted and not getting the support she needs. So we need to come alongside her. Open and understanding communication is vital. Nobody needs to be judging or blaming her. She's doing the best she can. She's exhausted. She has given and given and given till she can't see straight. And now we're asking her to do more. Okay? So we need to support the moms and the dads so that they can do the work that needs to happen. This is an actual photo of my husband and I. I know, I'm kidding, but pretty close. I'll tell you what, you get a whole lot of these kids in your house. Actually, you only need one and you can look like this pretty quickly. But they bond to our eyes. And when they look at our eyes and they see, I believe in you, I know you can do this, you've got this, I've got your back, they can relax and move forward. The brain heals, the progress happens. When they look into these eyes, what do you see? Yeah, like overwhelmed, shell shocked. What are we going to do with the kid? I'm so tired, I can't see straight. It increases the anxiety in the child, which reduces their learning, not only in school, but at home. When their heart is over 100 beats to the minute because they're scared because you're stressed, they're not learning anything, no matter how wise you are in explaining why we do things and why we don't do things. They can't hear you. So you have to keep telling them over and over and over and over, and they keep repeating the wrong behaviors. So take care of yourself. Get rest and recharge. I am so glad you are on this webinar. I appreciate you setting this time aside. And it's exactly what you need to do. Learn new tools that are proven. Learn new tools that absolutely work and grab them and run with them and use them in your home so you don't end up looking like that. All right? Now, what we want is a family that's peaceful. Everybody's happy. I know, Stacy, I saw your name come on there. You emailed me earlier about the dogs that were being abused by the boy. So we don't want that. We want our pets and our children and our spouses, on all of us, to feel safe in our home, to feel connected, to have peace. And that is what I want for you. I know it's what you're seeking. I know it's why you're here today. You don't have that peace. You're pulling your hair out. All right. So let's get to what do we do about it. The tools I'm going to share with you, I don't care what your child's diagnosed with. A lot of ours have full alphabet soup after their name of ADHD, ODD, OCD, RAD, all that stuff. It doesn't matter. This program, the tools that I use work with a normal, healthy brain, whatever that may be, okay? A child that's diagnosed with terrible things, a child that's not diagnosed. When we have a defiant child, a challenging child, that's what these tools are designed for, right? A lot of schools that I work with start using them just with the children with reactive attachment disorder. They find them so effective, and it's so hard to have a different toolbox for one child than you do for another. So pretty quickly, the whole school's using all the tools. And it's just a lot easier and it works. So the top 10 tools to defeat defiance. They're going to calm the chaos, lower your stress. I know you're stressed off the charts. I know you want peace in your home, and I want you to have that as well. I want you to be able to breathe and sleep, and you want to be able to laugh again, right? Remember laughter? That was why we had children, so we could laugh and play with them. Right. I want you to be able to like your child again. I know you love the child, or you wouldn't be on here. You wouldn't be setting aside this time if you didn't still love the child. You might not feel like you love them, but boy, they can be hard to like sometimes. I know. A lot of times they're just like this. They kind of like come out of their hole, and you look, and the cute little guy is a monster. And they're saying, I won't do it. Ha ha ha. I don't care what. You can't make me. And they're not monsters. They're children. But sometimes we feel more like this is what they look like. So we don't want to be feeling like our child's a monster. Top 10. Number 10 is sleep. They need to sleep for the brain to heal, for the brain to function, to reduce defiance, aggression, and increase learning. They have to have sleep. Same bedtime every night is essential for the brain to produce the melatonin. Not they get to stay up later on weekends so we can have sleep deprived children on Saturday and Sunday and they can torture us. Bad idea. Okay. Between 1 and 13 years old, actually up to 14, they need 12 hours of sleep. A normal child, when they're growing, needs 12 hours. Our children that have brains that need to heal need 12 hours because the brain has to have that time to do the healing process that happens only during sleep. 14 to 21-year-olds need 9.5 hours. That 9.5 hours, parents are always, I can't get my teenager up in the morning. Right. What time did your child go to bed? Well, it was 10:30. Well, there you have it. Not okay. Not okay. Now, the sleep studies they did, some of them said at 21, then they can move to 8 hours. Some of them said it was more like 24 years old when they could move to 8 hours of sleep for adults. So I'm not sure. I guess you just need to find out. If you can't get up in the morning, you obviously didn't go to bed early enough, or your sleep wasn't sound enough. Has to be completely dark in the room for the child to be able to sleep. To produce melatonin, a light stops melatonin production. And melatonin is what puts us in and out of healthy sleep patterns. They can't have a night light or the moon shining in the window. Darkness is what turns on the pineal gland to produce that melatonin. So, got to fix that. You know what? If they're telling you, I have to have the light on, I'm afraid of the dark, it means I don't trust you. I don't trust you to protect me. I have to have a light on so I can see intruders so I can deal with it myself. And I got to tell you, you've got huge, huge problems if you have a child who does not trust you to protect them. They should know if a grizzly bear came in your house, you would be between them and your child. And I know you would. Your heart is there. But they don't believe it. They don't trust you are capable of dealing with whatever happened to them in their past or whatever might happen in the future. They don't trust you to take care of it. They don't see you strong enough. So we've got some work to do on that. We'll talk a little bit more about it. But last bit on there on number 10 is calcium. You should know how much calcium your child needs at their size and age. And you should know how much calcium is in the milk they're drinking, how much calcium is in the cheese or the yogurt or whatever their calcium source is, the spinach. Okay, so calcium carbonate is not an absorbable source of calcium, and that's what they're putting in the almond milk nowadays. Calcium carbonate is rock. Our body does not break down and use rock as a nutrient. Okay, so check it out. Calcium citrate and calcium lactate are excellent sources, and the body can absorb those. Exercise. They need to be moving every day, not sitting in school all day, coming home, sitting in front of the TV, sitting in front of the Xbox. They need to be moving. And the temperature of the room should be about 65. You need to check. Do they have too many blankets? Not enough blankets? The temperature in the thermostat need to be changed, whatever. So we set them up for success with number 10. Number 9. Some of you are not going to like number 9. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. So I'm going to tell you. You can use these tools or throw some out. It's all up to you. But this is what I found that works. Absolutely works, because I am Irish and German, stubborn, stubborn, stubborn. I can be just as defiant as any child. And boy, me butting heads with a child, woo, nobody was winning. It was a nightmare. All right, so simplify means clear your calendar. Clear your calendar. Now, if you have to work, of course, you leave that on the calendar. If there's an important doctor's appointment that cannot wait for the next 6 weeks, then you leave that on the calendar. If the child has a doctor's appointment or a therapy appointment, we leave it on the calendar. Anything else is off. It's gone. There's no tuba lessons, ballet, dance, taekwondo, youth group, nothing. When we have a defiant child, the relationship's off track, we clear the calendar and we focus on healing that part of the child's brain and that part of the child's heart. So we clear it. And parents are like, oh, but she loves dance, and I just can't pull her out of dance. And he loves soccer so much, and football is his life. Great. Football is his life. You think he's going to make it on the Denver Broncos team with a bad attitude of defiance because he's going to defy his coach? You think she's going to grow up to be a fabulous ballerina with a cold heart where she's been cruel to her mother? I don't think so. Let's pull them out, get their heart and their brain healthy, and then put them back in. It can wait. The soccer, the football, the ballet, the tuba can all wait. All right, so they don't go anywhere. Now, I've been using this particular program since the early 80s and found it extremely successful. It's part of how I help my children to heal. And I have an 87% success rate with the most violent children in the United States, okay? The research on it, though, was done not too long ago, and I found it in a book called Simplicity Parenting, where they were doing the same thing that I've been doing. They were more methodical about it probably than me. And I was like, whoa, research on it. Look at the difference. And I'm like, I saw the difference, but it's really nice to have the numbers because this works. Clear the child's room. Clear it. They need to have their bed, the blankets and pillow, of course, and 7 sets of clothing, 3 or 4 books and a stuffed animal or 2. That's it. That's it. The rest of it's empty until they heal. Okay, it needs to be where they sleep. Calm down. It needs to be just no chaos in the room. You don't need to spend hours trying to get them to pick up all the stuff in there because there's too much stuff. Clear it. Reduce, remove input that's especially violent, disrespectful. That would be every single TV commercial pretty much. All right. A lot of shows, but they can't handle it. 0 electronics. If you have a child that's a little bit off track, then it would probably be 6 weeks of no electronics. If you have a child that's way off track, lying, stealing, hurting animals, that kind of stuff, it's about a year with 0 TV, movies, computer, Xbox, Game Boy, anything that plugs in or has batteries is off their things to do, off their list of things to do for about a year until the brain heals. Okay? Noise. There needs to be times of silence, absolute silence, where the music's not playing and the dishwasher's going and the vacuum's running and people are talking. There needs to be just absolute silence. And the parenting plan that I use, the full parenting plan, we set aside times every day where there's 30 minutes off and on of no noise. The spirit needs that. The brain needs that. All of us need that, adults and children. Just too much noise. The news. I don't know about you guys, but whoa, between the politics and the tsunamis and the floods and the fires, it is absolutely overwhelming. And our children cannot handle it. They can't. They're drowning themselves. They can't see other people and their problems and all of that. My husband likes to watch the 5 o'clock news. So he has headphones and the TV screen is around the corner where the children don't see it. He can sit and get an earful of the latest horrors that have happened in our world, and the children don't have to hear it. So they're not up all night worrying about somebody else's problems. Not that they would, but it keeps them from feeling safe. So, what these people that had the Simplicity Parenting book did was they called the schools in Canada and a bunch of schools in the United States. And they said, we want to research this program with the toughest kids you have with ADHD, the ones that are just all over the place, not doing their schoolwork, not compliant, defiant. We want to come and talk to the parents and the teachers and set up this program. So they did throughout the US and Canada, over 1,000 kids. And they found using this, and I outlined the whole book there for you, 68% of the children went from clinically dysfunctional to clinically functional in 4 months with no medication. That's a lot. That's a lot. And all they did was clear the calendar, clean the room, and zap on the electronics. Even more exciting than that, which is pretty exciting in itself, 36.8% average increase in academic and cognitive ability. You know what that's going to do to a grade point average in school? You know what that's going to do to your parenting plan as you're trying to teach and guide your child? Over a third increase in their ability to use their brain in the academic and cognitive. That's the logic and reasoning part of the brain. Grew so much that we saw those kinds of results there. That's exciting. So number 9, huge. Do it. I highly recommend you do it. I got bossy there, didn't I? Do it. That's how we talk to the children sometimes. And then we get more of a war. You know what? While we're on the subject, let's talk about how we talk to the children. If we say, would you please brush your teeth? It literally enters a different part of the brain. It's a request. And a request is going to be answered by a defiant with what? No. Absolutely. And when we give a direction, I want you to hop in there and get your teeth brushed. It literally enters a different part of the brain, and we are more likely to get compliance. I need you to brush your teeth implies there is some weakness in me that the child can fill by brushing their teeth. We are going to go in there and brush our teeth, aren't we? They're like, you're brushing yours too at the same time? And then some of my parents, I hear them aligning with the pathology. We have anger issues and we stomp all the way to our room and we slam the door. And I'm like, wow, you do too? That's terrible. So we need to be really aware of what we're saying and how we say it to get our better success rate here. I want you to. In a kind way, we give instruction, we give direction, not a request. A request means it's optional. And some of the stuff we have for them is not optional. It's time for bed. It's not optional. Okay? Brush your teeth is not optional. All right. So we're moving on to number 8 here. I did a little detour. Sorry about that, but it was so important. I wanted to make sure that you got it. And number 8 is structure. Meals and bedtime need to be on time, the same time every day. A lot of things are not on the same time because it needs to be flexible. Our children get stuck, but I put the meals on the table on time, and bedtime is the same every night. No matter if they're stuck or they're not stuck, they're going to bed because I'm tired and their brain needs to heal. So they go to bed on time. Work must be done before play begins. And that is out of balance with a lot of our kids. They get up in the morning and first thing they do is they've planned out their whole play day for the day. It's like, whoa, we got work that needs to be done first. Now in our family, we usually work 6 days a week, not 7. We don't work on Sundays. But a lot of families, you can work 7 days a week, whatever your program is there. All right. On the structure, we want to give and take in a healthy balance. The reason our challenging children wear adults out so much more is because as adults, we give and give and give and give, and we're teaching them how to take and take and take. And my program's designed to get that give and take back to a healthy balance where the child is giving back. I know you're rolling your eyeballs like, my child won't give back. He won't even do what he needs to do. Why in the world would he do something for me? It's like, well, that's because we're just getting started and they need to get there. And they do get there. Okay. Number 7, nutrition. Food fuels the body and the brain. You put garbage in there, you're going to get garbage out. We cannot feed our children fast food garbage. They have to have nutritious meals. And when we are stressed, whether we're an adult or a child, whether we're insane or sane or emotionally disturbed or not, when we get stressed, we crave carbohydrates, bread, pasta, chips, sugar, those things. When our children get up in the middle of the night to steal food, they're not stealing the hard boiled eggs, they're stealing the carbs. All right. Carbs do not fuel the brain. They can't build the neurotransmitters out of the carbohydrates. All right. We want to avoid the activators, MSG, dyes, nitrates, caffeine. MSG causes the brain to swell. We get more aggression and a lot more defiance when we have a child with a swollen brain. And you can get your favorite servings of MSG at all of the fast food restaurants because we checked them all out. Every single one of them uses MSG in their food. So they're off the list of places to eat unless you want to have an exciting day and pay for it. All right. The dyes, again, they're going to cause emotional reactions in many of our children, certainly not all. Each child's unique. And nitrates are preservatives they use in meats like bacon and salami, that kind of thing. And some of our kids really react with that. We see more aggression and more defiance. Caffeine can cut the blood supply to the temporal lobes of the brain, that's right around the ear area, by up to 25%. When we cut the blood supply there, and it also hits the liver pretty hard, but when we cut the blood supply to the temporal lobes, we're going to see more defiance, more violence, more aggression. So no Coke, Pepsi, coffee, tea, even iced tea in the summer, it's loaded with caffeine and their brains cannot handle it. All right. Neurotransmitters are made from parts of the protein, our serotonin and our dopamine, so they need a high protein diet. We need to eat together as a family, sitting at the table together, enjoying the meal peacefully. That's a key word there. I know. You're like, where do you eat, lady? I know you have to have your basic meltdowns periodically. Oh man, a lot of mine tried it every single night in the beginning. And then as they got healthier, that stopped. Because it takes a couple months to, some of the high level of violence in the kids that I specialized in, it usually took me 2 or 3 months to get them to stop the obnoxious stuff at the table, the major screaming fits and stuff, okay? And there would be a few off and on after that. But the first few months where we really knuckled down with the program, that's where we really saw a lot of the yucky behaviors go. So eating together as a family, the exact opposite of anxiety is gratitude and thankfulness. So I really like to have families talk about what they're thankful for, where one of the adults asks the child, what are 3 blessings that you had today? And the child can share. So we just talk about what we have instead of what we don't have, 3 things we're thankful for, and hear each other's hearts on that while we're eating. And it's peaceful, okay? The parents prepare the food and bring it to the child. That's how we nurture. It's how we connect, preparing the food for the child, not according to what will please his or her majesty's palate, but what will fuel their body to be healthy. The challenging child does not prepare food until they're healthy. The kitchen's off limits. All right, number 6, patience. So I know you're like, I used to have patience before I got this child. I hear you. Well, the thing is with our children, they help our patience to grow because they give us opportunities from sun up till way past sundown to build our patience. So if your patience is a little bit short, thank the child. They're there to help you to make it grow. When we get angry because we've lost our patience, it's like throwing kerosene on the fire. And then you're going to have a big blow up. Your anger causes more backfires. and more activity in that back part of the brain. So we cannot use anger in parenting these defiant children. I know you get angry because you're human, but we've got to have ways to manage our anger rather than unloading it on the sick child. No more instructions to a locked brain. When they say, no, I won't, and you can't make me, you give them another instruction to do something else. It's not going to happen. Then you give them another instruction. Now there's three things they're supposed to do when they were already stuck on the first one, and you're painting yourself into a corner. When they get locked down and they start by gritting their teeth, when you're really watching the child really in tune, you'll see their teeth grit. That's where they start to lock in their defiance. And right then you have a split second before they're out of their mind, and you're going to have a whole bigger war where you can deal with things. But it isn't the time for you to say, all right, you won't brush your teeth. Well, then you're just going to sit in the bathroom for 10 minutes and, whatever, threaten, push, all that kind of thing. So when we push at them when they're out of their mind, because they moved into that back part, we're going to see more resistance. You cannot do such and such with us until you get such and such done. It is pushing. Pulling is, come on, honey. If you get that done, then you can come and have a cookie. All right. Pulling and pushing when the brain is out of its mind, out of its working part of the mind, backfires. It keeps their brain stuck longer. We take the pressure off. We wait. Now, the record for many, many years was 19 hours, where the parents gave the child an instruction, he got stuck, and they just waited. So if your child tops that, I would love to get an email from you because we do have two more record breakers that were longer than the 19 hours, one in Florida, okay, one from Russia. So if you have a child who breaks the 19 hours and absolutely won't do it, and you stay calm, if you get angry and upset, then it could be longer than 19 hours. But if you stay calm the whole time, whew, you're an award winner. All right. So we wait. Our calendar's cleared, so we don't have to go anywhere. So we're not all stressed out. I got to go. I have to do this. I have to do that. It's like, And if you're a working parent and I have to go work or we're not going to eat, then you need to have a respite provider. Like, no problem, child's stuck. I have someplace I can take the child and drop them off, and they can be stuck over there. So having a respite provider, a trained therapeutic respite provider, is going to give you that out to where you aren't like, oh no, I have to go to work or I have this appointment. It's really important. And the child knows it's important. So they have you over a barrel, and then you don't have the leverage you have to have. So get somebody on board with you so that you're not stuck. No problem needs to be your middle name. I got this. No problem. All right. Calm, peaceful adult while the child is stuck. I know it's kind of like the opposite of normal behavior for parents. My child's stuck, so I'm going to be calm and peaceful. When I want to push them, you need to get it done. I said now. Get in here, do this. We want to hammer at them when they're out of the working part of their brain. It doesn't work. We have to be calm and peaceful. And I'm going to give you some ideas how to make that happen. So don't freak out. You're like, Nancy Thomas, what are you, an alien? Like, no, I'm not an alien. I just had to learn how to do it differently because I had the wrong toolbox with my kids in the beginning. And I had to find tools that work. Okay. Time each stuck event so you can see the progress. So when they get stuck, just take a quick look at the clock, see how long it takes before they move forward. And then I like to write it down so I know, okay, well, it's been 2 days since she got stuck. Wow, that's longer. And, last time she was stuck for 16 hours, and this time it's only 14 and a half, or whatever. But I need to see some progress. I need to know I am making a difference because it feels like, oh, we just got done with one stuck spot. Now we're in another one. It's like, yeah, but how long was it between them? And how long did it last time? Are we making progress? Is this working? Do I need to have different tools? Do I need to change things? Right? So keep low track of it. Oh, I found this little turtle, and it reminded me of my Beth. Oh my goodness. She loved to be compliant. Super, super slow to drive me nuts. And I was like, oh my goodness, she is doing it, but really? So it was still defiance, but it was just her way of being a little more passive about it rather than in your face. So, what I did for my Beth, it might work for you. Every child's unique. Like I said, you can use it or throw it out. But one of the tools that worked really well for her, I had her. It was 45 minutes before dinner, and I had her start at a chair, so I knew exactly where she started. And she was standing up. I said, I want you to come to dinner. It's not quite ready yet, so you have a little bit of time. And I want you to come really, really slowly because I've noticed that moving slow is really important to you. And I want you to be really good at it. I like my children to be the best that they can be at whatever they put their mind to. So I've set up some slow practice for you. So I want you to start here with your back of your legs up against this chair, aimed at the dining room table so that you can head to the table for dinner. So put your feet together. Okay, good, good. All right, now move your left foot 1 inch. Oh, that's excellent. Okay, now I want you to count to 10 with Mississippi in between it because that makes it a second. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3. Oh, you go. Good, all the way to 10. Then move your right foot 1 inch. Then count to 10 with the Mississippis again. Then your left foot 1 inch. And I want you to come to dinner really, really carefully and slowly, just like that. Oh, that's excellent, excellent. Okay, so then I went and I'm finishing up putting the dinner together, but I can see her. And pretty quickly, she was a lot farther ahead than I expected. I knew she was going to do that, but a lot farther ahead than she would have been with the 1 inch program I set up. So I said, oh my goodness, sweetheart, you went way too fast. Quick, come all the way back, start over. Oh, your slow practice got all messed up. It's okay, you can do it as many times as you need to. And she had to do the 1 inch thing all the way to the table. And I'll tell you what, she started moving faster after that. Some of my children needed to do that a couple, 2 or 3 times. I wouldn't do it 75 times, but a couple, and it was fun. Helped her. She got there. Number 5, we correct with brain-based behavior interventions. We call it 3BI for short. And we use that to correct anything, to build the respect, to teach them to and help them to be responsible, and to help them to be fun to be with. So when we use the 3BI, we use a brain shifter, then we ask for logic, then we have them come up with a plan of action to fix the problem or do an act of kindness. And it's a whole lot more complicated than that, but I want to get through this. I know your time is very valuable, and this is like a whole workshop in itself. So if you haven't attended any of my classes before and you do not know how to correct our children, then I want you to shoot me an email at nancy@attachment.org, and I will give you a free link to that webinar. It's usually like $30, but I'll send you a free link because I want you to know how we correct the children every single time they're disrespectful and all of that. Okay, but today we're working on defiance, so I want to stay focused. But that's number 5, that we correct quickly and we correct the right way. The 3BI is not used for punishment. We do not punish children that have a trauma base. It is to help the brain to shift gears from the back part to the forehead area where the logic is, and for the child to regain self-control because they're out of control. Learning cannot take place when the survival part of the brain is hot. That fight, flight, or freeze, when it's all lit up, they can't learn. They can't hear your wisdom on why they should do this correctly for their life. It helps them to connect with you while you are correcting, rather than reject you while you're correcting. It builds a relationship on trust while you guide them, and it models patience so that the child can learn that patience. All right. So if you don't know how to do the 3BI already, then shoot me an email. I know I saw some familiar names on there, and you've already been trained at camp. You've been to camp or some of my workshops or whatever, so you're good to go on that. Just remember to use it rather than the lectures and the, all that stuff that unfortunately doesn't work. This is my little great grandson. That's my Lincoln. And he was in the driveway. My husband was driving in with his truck, and there he is putting his hand out there. Stop. And it was just so cute. I'll tell you what, Lincoln is well attached. He is not defiant. He's a good boy, but he's 2 years old. And a 2-year-old does have their little roadblocks that they have to put up periodically as part of their development. Many of our children had a rough time in their early childhood, and they didn't get past the 2-year-old defiance that we expect to see and help them work through. So the 3BI tools that we adjust for our little 2 to 5-year-olds, we use a penguin with them where they come and sit on our feet, facing out, but their little legs are crossed and they're literally sitting on your shoes, okay, or your bare feet, whatever you got. Um, Whether you're sitting down or standing up, they come and they sit on your feet like a little penguin. Then, if they're yodeling, "Oh, I want a cookie, I want a cookie," whatever we got going on, I tap left, right on their shoulders slowly to help them to calm. When they get a little calmer and I see their breathing is a little slower, then I'll reach and I'll take their arms and cross them so their hands are now on their forearm, and I'll tap their hands for them on their upper arm, left, right, left, right. Not quickly. We want to calm them, not wind them up. Okay, the heart rate will kind of go into rhythm with it within a minute and a half. And then I get them to continue with it. This is called butterfly wings or butterfly taps. Very, very calming for our little ones. Okay. Another thing that we do that we add for the little ones that we don't do with the bigger ones is a hand sandwich. I usually call it a ham sandwich because hand sandwich is hard to say, but you put your palm out, they put their little hands in yours, crossing them, and then you put your hand on the top. And it isn't a wrestling match, and you're not trying to crush their hands, and it's not handcuffs, it's support. It's connection. And then their heart is facing yours, their eyes are facing yours, you have their hands, and you can, give them a little bit of, what happens, sweetheart. Now we don't hit the dog, whatever, if you got a little tiny one. All right. And then breathing. Have them take a big deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Huge changes happen in the brain when we increase the oxygen. The older ones need that as well, but when they get into more defiance at 5, you start saying, take a big deep breath. Pretty soon they're holding their breath all day long. I've seen that happen with a 12-year-old. He looked like Frankenstein because his mother kept saying, breathe, breathe, take a breath. Would you take a breath? So he just got real defiant. So I don't tell them older than that about the breathing. I make them breathe, but they're unaware of it. The little ones I do instruct. When we're working with an older teen, usually 14, 15 and up to 19, when we're using the brain-based behavior interventions, rather than talking about it, I have them write it down. So I have this list of questions developed by Dr. Foster Cline, who was one of the best psychiatrists in this country. Absolutely. The tough, tough kids that he turned around without medication was phenomenal, phenomenal. So he developed these top 5 questions, and then I added the 6th one. And the questions are, what happened? What was I feeling? How did I handle it? How did it work out for me? How am I going to handle it in the future? And what can I do to make it up, fix it, clean it, whatever, an act of kindness? Number 4, loving leadership. They need an adult whose priority is a child's healing and focusing on that. They give us the smoke screens, the wasting the shampoo and all the toilet paper in the toilet or whatever stuff. And then we're looking at all the shampoo and the toilet instead of staying focused on the child's heart and the child's healing. So we really need someone who can focus there. A decision maker who meets the child's needs, who says yes to what they need and no to what they want that they don't need until the child learns to accept limits and the defiance stops. So who leads? Dr. Foster Cline says a child will internalize and follow the parent of perceived power. It means we need to be powerful, loving leaders, not military drill sergeants snapping orders and giving commands, but powerful. They won't see us powerful if they can test us and we flunk. These are the 5 tests for trust. Can I interrupt you? Can I get you to repeat yourself? Can I get you to believe my lies? I fell for those first 3 a bunch of times before I realized how essential they were. Then they'll move on. If we flunk the first 3, they move on to, can I steal from you? They get away with stealing from you, then they will digress to hurting animals or another child. And when we have a child hurting animals, that is a huge red flag of pathology. This child needs, you don't need to walk to the nearest therapist. You need to run to the nearest highly skilled therapist to save this child before it is too late. Because that means we don't have a conscience going on. There's no empathy. There's no empathy. There's no conscience. There's huge issues. Okay. So be aware of those tests, and we've got to pass them. That's all back to respect there in the beginning. All right. So to be successful, use action, not words. Action, not a whole bunch of talking. Do it. Don't say it. All right. When we use actions instead of words, we get compliance. And that's what we want. Compliance. All right. Number 3, clean out the child's secrets. Secrets are poison to their hearts. And it could be lies they've told. It could be things they broke that they need to tell the truth about, things they've stolen that they haven't revealed, people or animals they've hurt that no one knows about, or sex things that have happened. When they have secrets in their heart, you can be doing the most powerful parenting program there is, working with the most skilled, highly effective therapist, and you will make zero progress. Zero. Because secrets are a roadblock. So what do? A great therapist. Highly skilled, highly experienced, highly successful, well-trained therapist that knows, number 1, their job is to release and resolve the child's past. And they usually use EMDR. There are some other great therapies out there as well. Not non-directed play therapy or talk therapy or cognitive behavior therapy. According to Dr. Bessel van der Kolk from Harvard, they fail with our children because it's not helping the part of the brain that was most affected by trauma. So we're going to put the parent and the child together in a healthier way. That's the second goal of a skilled therapist who knows how to deal with children with this issue. They're going to teach a child to use their words instead of acting out how angry, how sad, how frustrated they are, that they got a letter from their girlfriend so they can't unload the dishwasher properly. So using their words. And in the beginning, they have to have an amazing parent who knows what the issue is to help them to get unstuck from it. Good thing we have so many awesome moms out there. So many awesome dads to help them. All right. So support the parents. The therapist supports the parents, not questioning, doubting. You did what? What were you thinking? And why were you? No. Parents are doing the best they can. And sometimes they need new tools. The therapist can help with that or fine-tune the tools they've got, a little tweaking going on. An untrained therapist meets with the child away from the parents, allows the child's pathology to control the session, doubts and blames parents, and believes the child's lies and helps them create more secrets between the child and the parents by telling stuff to the therapist that's not revealed to the parents. Now that's not going to work. Don't pay money for that. All right. Number 2, feeling of safety. We talked about this clear in the beginning, but it's huge. They have to have emotional safety and physical safety. Rejection is their biggest wound, and they don't handle it. They're afraid of rejection. They have to feel accepted. When we open our arms and pull somebody to our heart, that is total acceptance. We call it a hug. It's total acceptance. When we hug somebody, we're pulling them up close to our most vulnerable parts of our body. Huge. These children need a lot of it, okay? Accepting who they are with our eyes, not glaring at them all day long. Our eyes are saying, I'm sick of you. You're driving me crazy. Our eyes need to say, yep, you're having a hard time. Good thing you have me. I'll help you with this. You can get over it, sweetheart. They need an honest person that they can trust, who's not going to be saying stuff that they don't mean and not meaning what they say. I like parents to understand they can mean business without being mean. If you haven't read Deborah Haig's stuff, she's got a really lot of great articles on her website, deborahhaig.com. And that's an article that she wrote. It's a long one, but it's great. How to mean business without being mean. Physical safety. They cannot share a room with another child and heal. Let me say it again in case you didn't hear me. A child who has a trauma base, who had trauma during their first 3 years of life, cannot share a room with another child and heal. I know not everybody's rich enough to have 75 bedrooms. Sometimes we have to put a divider right down the middle of the room, floor to ceiling, so there's no access. They don't sleep well. It interferes with sleep. They keep each other up half of the night. They get into each other. All kind of stuff goes on. So no room sharing. It's not, uh, you know, privilege. It's a necessity. There's no other child intimidating or hurting them. There's no other adult intimidating or hurting them. They have to feel safe from the adults as well as from the other children. When we get angry as parents or teachers, scares the child and activates the wrong area of the brain. We use action, not anger. Action, not words. All right. Number one, touch. 12 hugs every day. If you have a child who won't let you hug them, you've got a huge gap in that relationship that has to be healed. The defiance isn't going anywhere till you can get through with the hugs. All right. And hugs are about loving, not about wrestling. It's not. You will tolerate my hugs. I love you. Shut up. Get over here. Okay. That's not it. Okay. It's about, come here. You look like you need a hug. And you wrap your arms around and squeeze a love in. Snuggle time. I pull them up in my lap, feed them ice cream, tell them stories. We laugh together. It's number one because it's the most important. If you don't do anything else in this webinar today except touch your child more, you will see progress. If you do all 10 things, you definitely will see progress. All right. Options to being stuck when your child's stuck. We like, how do I make the child do it? You can't. You can't make somebody do something. They have to make themselves. I don't tell them that. I don't say that. But they'll say, you can't make me. I'm not going to do it. You can't make me. I say, well, sweetheart, I'm not going to make you. You need to make yourself. But I can see you're not strong enough to do it right now. I want you to stand, sit, lay down, or kneel till you're rested, and then show me you're ready to do it by starting to do it. But don't do it now. Just rest till you're ready. Now, do they have any other choice besides stand, sit, lay down, or kneel? Right. So they're already complying. If you have a child who's semi-cooperative, you can have them lay on the couch with a cloth over their eyes and rest for 5 minutes. Then you give them a hug and they return back to the task. So they just get short little rests off and on throughout the day. If you have a totally lockdown defiant child, then you just say stand, sit, lay down, or kneel and let them figure it out. So when you say stand, sit, lay down, or kneel, they're going to be kind of like this, where he's kind of all over the place. And I didn't say stand here, lay there, lay this way, sit that way, because wherever you put limits, they're going to stretch it. They're going to chest it. They're going to push. So I don't. That's the best this child can do for resting, whatever. Until they get up and do the toothbrushing or whatever that needed to happen, that's what they're doing. While they're resting, I'm not pushing at them. Okay, I'm not pulling at them. Another option, if you have a semi-compliant child, is have them go to their room and rest for 5 minutes of quiet. The time starts when the door is closed and the yodeling stops. All right, 5 minutes. They quiet down for 5 minutes. They're good to go. Then afterwards, I greet them with a hug and what happened, and then we finish using the rest of the 3BI, all right, the brain-based behavior interventions. My daughter painted this years ago, and I just love it. Little butterfly there. One of the things that helps me to stay on track when I have a stuck child is thinking of a butterfly. They start out as a worm, and they go around and they chew up your flowers, and they chew up your garden, and they tear stuff up. The little worms do. And then they go into their little chrysalis, their little cocoon that's ugly, and it doesn't look like anything's going on. It's just a little brown thing there. But inside of that, it's just about a miracle that happens as that little worm changes everything about itself and makes a beautiful, beautiful creature. And then a creature comes out of the cocoon and is ready to fly and be beautiful and spread their wings and experience the world. So when my child gets stuck and they're sitting there glaring at me, I'm just going, oh, look, a little cocoon. Something good is happening inside the little cocoon, and they're going to come out of it. Instead of me sitting there with that self-talk, like, look at It's been 20 minutes, still sitting there like, yeah. And then I do all that negative self-talk, and that makes me angrier and more frustrated. And then I'm doing the glares instead of, ooh, I can hardly wait for my little cocoon to open, and then I'm going to see the butterfly come out, and the child's going to do the toothbrushing or whatever it was that they got stuck on. Okay. So I hope next time your child's stuck, you'll remember that beautiful butterfly. So while the child's resting, if you do something for yourself, it will also help you to not be frustrated and angry. I used to have a little basket I carried around that had a bunch of greeting cards in it, so I could write thank you cards. I could write birthday cards, thinking of you cards, just short little jobs that I could just do. I could write them for, a whole month if I had a job stuck long enough, for a whole year if they were really stuck. You could knit little things or eat chocolate, have special chocolates in that basket that you only get when your child is stuck, or play Candy Crush. The new modern moms do all kind of stuff like that where, oh, good, I can get to the next level on Candy Crush. I haven't played that, so I can't tell you, or maybe you want to doodle or increase your ability to sketch, or there's new adult coloring things that are very relaxing and fun that you can just relax and enjoy. The child sees it's not bothering you, they don't get any mileage out of it. So they'll come and they'll try to get it to bother you more, and you just find a way to not let it bother you in the least. Excellent. I get to work on my project. I'm so glad this child's stuck. All right. I'm not so glad the child's stuck, but that kind of a feeling is what you need to come across with. During the resting mode, while the child is resting, we do not interrupt their rest with more instructions, chatting, glares, intimidating body language. We need to just chill. Okay. When they begin the task, you resume warmly interacting and encouraging. Now, when you're interacting and encouraging, a lot of times the child's been stuck for hours and they finally get up and move and start to do whatever it was you asked them to do. And then the parents go, Yahoo! And the child's like, what? And they feel like we're doing a victory dance because they just lost. And the next time we ask them to do something, the defiance is longer because they don't want to lose. We don't like to lose. They really don't like to lose. Okay? So we don't do a big whoop, whoop, yay, hooray when they get it done. We say, oh, sweetheart, I'm so glad you got strong enough to get back to your job. I knew you'd get strong. I'm with you. I'll start the timer for you, or, I'll shine the light better so you can see what you need to do, or whatever. We do something, come alongside their effort. I'm going to meet their effort with a little effort on my part. Okay, they're going to do 99% of it, but I'll help, encourage, that kind of a thing. They get my attention when they're working on it. They don't get much when they're not. Okay, so be careful. Success equals love and joy. I love this picture of this wonderful father, and he's just snuggling up his little one, and her nose is all curled up with joy. It's what we want. I know you wanted to just play with your children, and you got stuck with this defiance. It's not what you want. I want to spend about 10 minutes going over an option that I have for you if you want more help. If your child's really stuck and you feel like you need a lot more, I want to spend about 10 minutes going over what I've got because I've got it on sale right now. I want to announce my exciting, I'm so proud of it, my master course. I have 3 master courses, one for toddlers, one for the 5 to 13-year-olds, and one for the teens. And they're amazing. I just see parents so many times. You probably feel like you're juggling too much already. Child's wearing you out. You're ready to fall on your face. You're so exhausted. And you don't know where to turn or what to do to get out of this cycle. I hear you. That's why I developed this course. It's called the Advanced Parenting Academy. And I've been down the road. I've already found the potholes. I've been in the loop to loop to loop to loop to loop, stuck in there. So I found ways to get out of it, to make it happen. And then I had researchers check it out. They did a 2-year study on my program with a 30-month follow-up, and they found it works. I want you to know your children can heal. The tools that I've shared with you today work. I don't want you to give up on them. I don't want you to be frustrated. It's going to be hard work. It's going to take time. It's going to take the same amount of time for you to work with your child without the tools, frustrated and banging your head on the brick wall they've put up, as it does to have a full toolbox and do it right. It's the same amount of time. I just want to share with you the tools that I've got. I'm so glad you came today to get those tools. And I've got a whole lot more that I really want for you. And I believe what you would like is to get the yes, mom, yes, dad, instead of no, I won't. Okay. Believe in your child's ability to do it and get there. Believe that they can do it and know that your heart is going to make a difference in their heart. All right. So hang in there with that. We started with our little guy with the weightlifting. Oh, 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 yes. He got it all the way to the top. Your children can do this. You can do this. Believe in them. If you need more tools, I'm here for you. You've got your heart. That's the most important tool. Keep it soft. Keep it filled with love. I know they make that hard a lot of times, but you can do it. You can do it. So I've got lots more tools in my toolbox. 40 years of working with the kids. If you need more tools, I've got them. I have books. I have DVDs. You can call my office and set up a one-on-one phone consultation. Right now, we're talking about our academy because it's a full course. It's 6 weeks to really get you on track so that the heart that you put in there for your children can fill their heart and they can blossom and grow to be the best that they were born to be. All right. So many parents I work with are just overwhelmed, overloaded, feeling like they can't take it anymore. Child's worn down to nothing. You may be feeling like that. And I don't know why you took this webinar today. I'm assuming it's because you have a challenging child that's wearing you down to nothing, so you do feel like this. So I figure you have 2 ways you can do this. You can keep doing what you've always done, which is you're familiar with it, and you'll get the same results you've always gotten. Or you can follow a new path. I've cleared it. I've been down the wrong road. I've been on the right road. I've been very successful in helping these children heal. So I don't want you there having the heart attacks. And I don't think that's where you want to be either. My Advanced Parenting Academy is 6 weeks to change the direction of your home. It starts Monday. A little bit of time to prepare. You've got the rest of this weekend to get it together so that you're ready to dive in and change your child's heart on Monday. 45-day investment in power tools. That's not long to change the rest of your child's life, to change your chaos to calm, bring back the laughter. I think that's what you want. It's what I want. I love laughing with my kids so that you can increase the peace in your home. You know, I work with some pretty amazing dads, and one dad I worked with was a Navy SEAL, and he said living with a child with RAD was tougher than being a Navy SEAL. A Navy SEAL diffuses bombs. That's a pretty heavy statement. And he was right. He was right. I've never diffused a bomb, but I know living with these children can wear you down to nothing, and that's not what I want for you. All right, so how does it work? My courses, each week you get a full plan. Okay, there's a long video. It's not long. It's like 30 minutes. Okay, the main module says, okay, this is the plan for the week. And then there's a bunch of short little videos that show you exactly how to do it. Because people always like, I want to follow you around and watch how you do it and how you say it and what you say and what you do. Well, that's a little tricky to follow me around. So I had a camera follow me around. And we put it on film. A little actor, my little sprout. And he was amazing. And he remembered how to be very defiant because he had been very defiant early on. And so he could model that for us. And you can see exactly how we get the kid to brush the teeth, go to bed, get up in the morning, because I've got the videos that actually show you how. Okay, you can watch it online whenever you want. You're busy, you're exhausted, I know. You can review it as many times as you need. You spend the same amount of time with the child that you do now. Same time, different tools, new tools at work, okay? Time you spend fighting can be used winning, and that's what I want for you. So my Advanced Parenting Academy works. My parenting program works. Whether you get it from the academy or you read one of my books or whatever, I just want to encourage you to do something and really change your child's life around so that you're no longer out there flopping around, drowning and miserable. I want you to have the joy in your home and the peace that you seek. 80% of the students who took my course reported less violence and more fun after only 5 weeks of the course. They weren't even completed yet, and they were already seeing big changes. All of them reported improvement. I believe in this course so much, and I want you to have these tools so you've got the piece. So I'm guaranteeing the whole course. If you do it, follow the course for 30 days and you're not happy, I'll give you every dime of your money back. I believe in it that much. So normally the master courses are all $1,200. Today and tomorrow it's on sale both days. It's $595. Okay, that's less than half, and you save $600. So we've got payments if you need some help with that, $299 for 2 months or $150 for 4 months. But wait, I got more I want to share with you. To sign up, this is a picture of my website, attachment.org. And if you haven't been on my site, I highly recommend you go on there. If you go up to the top, you can see it says blog, lots of articles in there, free articles to help you to stay on track. Down here at the bottom, right underneath my picture, it says learn online. You click that and it'll take you there. So let's click it. It'll take you to this page where it'll tell you a little bit of the overall Advanced Parenting Academy Master Courses up at the top. 2 quotes from parents. Nikki from Ontario says the most valuable thing about this course was that it stopped the violence and got us all laughing together as a family. I felt like a good mom again. And Dad Darren from Massachusetts says incredible. So many great ideas were shared. So there's 3 courses. There you see we've got the Heart Healing for ages 5 to 13, the Heart Link for Tots, ages 1 to 4, and then the Heart Smart for teens is 14 to 19. There's a little button at the bottom of each of those you can click and learn more, or you can enroll in the course right there. So many parents are wandering around lost, looking for what to do. Okay, we've got this do-it-yourself plan where I can take this course at home. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to try to drive my child around. I can just do it right here at home. But is it enough? Am I ready? All that kind of stuff. We have another program, the same master course, because it's got every single thing in it. Seriously, from getting them up in the morning to getting them to bed at night, getting through the homework, getting through the teeth brushing, all of that. There's videos to show you exactly how to do it. For the teens, we've got what do you do with the driving and the drinking, the drugs, that more issues that we're going to have with teens that we won't have with the younger years. And then with the toddler program, their logic part of their brain isn't quite ready for all of the brain-based behavior interventions. So we have a special program for the little guys. So the same master course goes with the VIP program. The independent study you do on your own. The VIP program, you do it with me, where we have 6 hours of phone consultations where you call me and we'll strategize and tailor it specifically to your child's needs and answer any questions you want me to answer. All right. So if you get stuck on anything, your child's doing some weird behavior and you're like, what do I do now? I don't have all the answers, but you know what? After 40 years of living with these children and helping them to heal, I have a lot, and I will do all I can to give you the answers you need. But we got a special. So it's $997 for now. Easy Pay is $510 for 2 payments or $265 for 4 payments. And I figure you save a lot of money when you do it yourself at home, because you don't need as many therapy sessions when your child heals quickly. And the therapy can be very expensive. And the therapists really appreciate it because they usually have a long waiting list of people who need to get in. So they love it when our kids heal faster, get graduated from therapy and can move on. And we love it because we save a lot of money because we did a lot of the work at home, helping them to be more ready to heal. So whether you want the independent study or the VIP, all you do is go on there, pick which course you want, which one according to how old your child is, and I will meet you there and do all I can to help you to reach the goals that you have for your family. This is a brain scan of a little guy that I worked with. The blue part is where the brain's working properly. The pink and orange parts of the brain is where it's working about half speed. I'm not a brain researcher, so you get it in mom language. And the white part of the brain is where the brain is not working properly at all. I want you to see these brains because I want you to know your child can heal. Your time and effort is priceless and it's valuable, and using the right tools is going to make a difference. This is the same child's brain 2.5 years later. All that beautiful blue is a healthy brain. Still some pink and orange parts and one white part. But if we go back and look how he started, and we see how he is with zero medication. I'm not saying our children don't ever need medication. I'm just saying there was no medication in this particular child, and the brain healed this much. You're making a difference with the children. You are changing their lives. If you need more help, I'm here for you. But your heart is the most important piece of it all. This is the outside of that brain. That beautiful boy is John. John calls me about once a month because he cares very much. He's a very gentle, caring person now. He was not in the beginning defiant and causing a lot of pain to his awesome mom, a single mom. She did it. Incredible love that she poured out in order to turn his life around. Look at him. That's a graduation cap. Yep, he's doing college. Another mother shared this with me. She's amazing herself. The whole church condemned this mother and father for being poor parents instead of standing beside them and loving and honoring them as they fought to save their daughter's life. I know. That's exactly the opposite of what should have happened. Heartbreaking. So you see the picture on the left, her eyes are huge. She's like shell-shocked. She's overwhelmed with life. Skinny little sad thing. You see the picture on the right, her eyes sparkling with love and joy. Beautiful smile on her lips there. Her mother's eyes, when she came in this picture, looked just like that. Her mother's eyes were shining with happiness. She was so proud of her daughter that she had come and learned the tools and the techniques and used them and saved that little one. In the face of great adversity from her community, she saved her daughter's life. I want that for you. Another family shared this picture of their daughter that they used my program. She was very defiant and angry and, a little spitfire. And mom shared this picture, just so proud of her daughter. Now loving and kind and caring and thoughtful, doing well at home and at school. Exactly what you want for your children. This program works, and these children don't have to stay stuck in their defiance. We can defeat it. They can move forward. Our last little guy we're going to cover, he lives in my community. And again, just so angry, so defiant. His mother was covered with bruises every time I saw her from him. And now he and his mother both run races. They love to run marathons together. And she's proud of him. And he's kind and caring. And he does what he needs to do when he needs to do it, when he's asked to do it, when he follows his directions. And he's a superstar at home and on the racing field. He's winning the race, and that's what we want, our kids to be winners. A bunch of the families I've worked with thousands and thousands of families. The kids can do this. Don't give up. Don't give in. Stand strong, and they can get there. We started out with the family. I wanted you to remember what you wanted, what your goals are for your family, so that you have that heart to keep going. Any way that I can help you, whether you do want to take advantage of that sale on the course right now, save the time, save the money, or you want to get some books or videos, whatever you want to do, I want you to keep going. I want to encourage you in that. So the Advanced Parenting Academy course, save your spot now if that's the way that you feel is going to help you. I want to sign off by saying thank you. A lot of times your children won't thank you for all you're doing for them, so I will thank you. I appreciate what you're doing for the children. You are touching their lives and making the world a better place, and that's what we need. I appreciate you spending this time with me, and I appreciate what you're doing for the children. Thank you very much.